Oh, is it working?
There you go. What's going on, Brandon?
Oh, there we go. How's it going, man?
Appreciate the time, man, and want to get into this new album and the tour and everything.
Yes, please. I apologize. I'm so sorry for jumping on late. I was having some trouble connecting.
No problem, man. Well, I'm loving the new album, New World Heat, and a couple years in the making for you guys. It was like 2, 3 years, huh?
Something close. Yeah, we had a couple of EPs coming out like 22 2023, and then yeah, took 2024 off. We released Savior in 2024, but yeah, definitely felt like a long time in between like solid releases.
Yeah, it must feel good to like finally have it out now. Like, it's out
Oh
there
my
for the world.
gosh. After the amount of work that went into this thing and like time and planning and all that stuff to finally have it out is massive.
And a little bit of a theme to this one, like a little bit of a like Phoenix rising from the ashes kind of vibe to the album.
A little bit, yeah. I think it's as much about rebuilding as it is about tearing down. I think those things kind of go hand in hand, but I think there's kind of two steps in the way that I envision it in terms of yes, rebuilding is a huge part of what we're talking about, but this record is far more about destruction of the things that are standing in your way. So it's less about reconstruction as it is about momentum, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are the roadblocks? What are the stop signs? What are the things that are standing in your way versus how do you rebuild something that's been destroyed? It's just tear down everything that's in your way and just keep moving.
That'll be the next album is the rebuild.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see.
The other thing I love about the album, of course, the tunes are slamming, but I love all of like the little like interludes and like the little like voiceover and like the little like
Yeah.
movie clips. I feel like that was something that used to be big in like the 90s, early 2000s, kind of gotten away from that. But were all those clips from movies or were those like friends you had record lines for you? Talk to me about those little.
Not as much friends, but we definitely it's everything from podcasts to TV shows to just YouTube videos or that kind of thing. But yeah, definitely a couple of movies in there. I think the biggest thing was that we love all the sampling that happens in kind of like 90s hip hop and all the boom bap um, kind of scene, and so that was something that we really wanted to implement, not just in the way of like here's a funny line before the breakdown or something like that, but
Right.
actually integrating sampling as something that's part of the song, and as something that also leads to kind of like the lyrical themes and isn't just random, like a quote from Family Guy or something like that. Like we wanted it to be something that kind of built on top of the stuff that we were trying to accomplish and the stuff that we were trying to communicate in the songs.
Usually to set up the song, really.
Exactly.
The other cool like SFX sound effects throughout the album, which I was amazed by. There's a lot of record scratching throughout.
Yeah.
So is that like a producer doing that, or one of you guys on the ones and twos? Talk to me about
Oh, I
those.
wish. No, I think I would love to learn how to do it. It's just an extremely expensive and time consuming thing to try to pick up for fun. But our good friend DJ MRD, he plays in a band called Lie out of Texas. And he did all the scratching on the record. We basically just sent him the album and said, go nuts. And then it took what he had and we kind of trimmed down certain parts and repurposed certain things. But for the most part, it was just he just sent us back the performance, and we were so excited.
Love it, man. Yeah, it definitely gives that flavor in there and a different sound. And speaking of a different sound, yeah, I love your halftime and I'm certainly enjoying
Yeah,
your halftime much more than the NFL's halftime, though.
yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see Bad Bunny, but I think it's going to be a crazy show. We'll see. But I think the halftime is on all of our records. We've had some form of interlude. Sometimes it's been kind of like outsourced. So on Fear and Loathing, we had Venom Benzo, who used to scratch in a band called Vane FM and is now in another band called Denature. Um, he did that whole interlude kind of by himself. We just wanted to let him kind of do whatever he wanted. But then on the first record and on this album, we had Nathan, our vocalist, actually has he did all of that. He made the whole beat. He
Oh, wow.
performed the piano on there. He's a phenomenal pianist and like a trained concert pianist. And so he was able to, throw some blues and jazz kind of flavor on there, which is super, super fun. So giving him the opportunity to kind of flex a little bit is always fun. And that's something that I think I don't want it to be a staple, something that is a necessary ingredient to every record, but it's something that we always have fun with. So I'm sure it'll always kind of show up in some form or another.
I love it, man. It's a good little like palate cleanser, kind of,
Yeah.
takes your ear down from all the distortion, give you a little ear break for a second, and then wind back up for the second half.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked that up. That's truly like very intentional. And as far as like the sequencing for the record and all that stuff, we wanted to make sure that, not that it's the fastest anything and the fastest thing anyone's ever heard or the most heavy or intense or pummeling, but like all of those are ingredients that we were really, really trying to focus on while writing. So we wanted to make sure that it's like, if you just do too much, then people get burnt out.
Right.
So if you get halfway through the album, you take a little breather and then you jump into the second half and it kind of transitions into, you get a second to catch your breath and then it's just right back into it.
Speaking of the album and sequencing and special effects and special friends helping out, ton of features on the album.
Yeah.
Everyone from Avoid, Eyes of Salt, Mugshot. The one I'm kind of most curious about is Silent Planet.
Yeah.
Did you get more than Garrett contributing on that track?
We didn't. So that was we played with Silent Planet here in Denver a couple of years ago, and not to say by any means that we became best friends by any means, but I think we've had a pretty awesome relationship with them since, kind of just online and keeping up with each other, and we've bumped into each other on tour once or twice, and so we had this kind of empty slot in Headshot, and we knew that we wanted a feature, but we weren't really sure what to do with it, and so Nathan had written a couple of different sets of lyrics and we were kind of bouncing ideas around, and then we just sent Garrett a message on social media and he immediately replied and was like, I'm down. I'll get it done as soon as possible. They were headed out on tour, and so he knocked it out even before they left, which was he was just like really, really helpful and just such a sweet dude to knock it out the way that he did. So yeah, it was a super painless process.
That's really cool that he took the time to do it before going out on tour and you just send him a
Yeah,
message on social media.
I was gonna say anyone else probably would have been like, nope, too busy, and I wouldn't blame them because tour prep is always the worst. Even just like mentally, you're trying to get ready for kind of changing gears for however long you're going to be out, and so yeah, for him to take the time out to go to the studio and kind of rework some of the lyrics that we had sent him and then perform everything and send it back was awesome.
I was thinking you were going to get a little bit of their because I love like the keys and the industrial vibe that they bring to their music. So I was hoping to
Yeah,
show a little bit of that in on the track, but it was just a vocal performance.
yeah, I'm not against. I mean, in the future, I would love to kind of do a little bit more collaboration or have some fun co-writing stuff because I think getting different people's flavors on stuff is always exciting. Pardon me.
Bless you, bless you. Were there any of the collabs were written in mind, or were they all kind of after the fact?
I think it's a little bit of both. None of them were written like for a specific person, but like most of them were people that we knew we wanted on the album. So like Mugshot, the drummer of Mugshot is our best friend Connor Haynes. He drummed on the record, he produced the record, he recorded the record. And we've toured with Mugshot earlier this year. I've played in Mugshot for a couple of years, so they're just like best friends of ours all the way through. So we knew that we wanted them to be on the record, but we didn't necessarily write anything kind of like for them. It was more as we were writing, we just had a couple of empty slots, and then we were trying to see, okay, like it's kind of puzzle pieces at that point,
Yeah.
like who fits where. And yeah, and then the same for Eyes of Salt was Gary used to be in a band called Line Brawl. He's been in a bunch of bands in Denver. He's a huge member of the Denver hardcore scene, and has done a lot to put a lot of Denver bands like kind of on the map. And worked really hard at venues and bringing people out to shows. And so we wanted to make sure that we represented Denver in a pretty specific way. And so yeah, same kind of thing. We just as soon as we had a slot that was open, we were like, I think Gary would fit on this. And so we sent a message and he was immediately down.
That's rad, man. And I'm really looking forward to hearing a bunch of these new tunes live. Got you in our neck of the woods, going to be in Southern California, December 1st, House of Blues
Yeah.
Anaheim. In the Parish Room. And what are we thinking? Three, four, five new songs off the new album?
Oh, it's mostly the new record. I think we're really excited. Like we love the old songs truly, but I think we're really excited about just being able to push the record and getting people to hear some of the new stuff. Because it's exciting for us. We haven't played these songs very much, and so getting to put those out and see the crowd reaction and watch how it all kind of goes over live is some of our funnest stuff. And so coming off the headliner that we just did a couple of weeks ago was amazing, super super fulfilling. Watching people just lose their minds to the new stuff is awesome. So it's yeah, I think we're only playing like three old songs, something like that. We have a little bit
Wow.
of a shorter set, so
Right.
yeah, it's mostly stuff off the new record.
Interesting. And I'm kind of curious with it being a lot from the new record and all the collabs on the new record and all the turntable scratching. Are you bringing that? Are you bringing those samples in? Is Nathan covering the collab parts? How does that all
Nathan
work?
does, yeah, Nathan does the collab parts. We always try to keep it like, we want the show. This is kind of just in general. We want the shows to be a lot more interactive than I say performative, more in the way of like us performing for an audience. We want it to be something that's kind of collaborative and interactive. So we want people to, stage dive and jump up. And if you know the words, then grab the mic. If you know what to do, then like, I've got a mic up on stage. We've got spare ones. So we always want it to be, have fun. Obviously, sometimes that opens up to people who don't really know good etiquette and they start hanging out on stage too long or taking videos and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, all right, you got to shoe off. But for the most part, yeah, we try to. Nathan will cover most of that stuff. Unfortunately, DJ MRD, so he's again playing in Lie, and I think they're headed out on another tour. But we're hoping for there to be a time in the future where we can actually have some live turntables done. But for now, we just have them kind of part
Sampled
of
it.
it. We have a bunch of tracks and stuff like that, so we have it sampled going through the house.
So still get to hear the turntables live. There just won't be live scratching
Yeah,
going on.
exactly.
And dude, what a what a I'm sure it's by design, but what a different band for you to go out with Greyhaven. I mean,
Oh, so excited. Like I just found a screenshot on my phone. It was from I don't know, 5 years ago, something like that, of me posting on social media, just being like, Greyhaven is the most underrated band. Like, number one, like, love this band so much, want to see them do the best. And that was, 5 years ago. So to be touring with them is really, really surreal for all of us. I think they are some of the most talented musicians putting out some of the best music. And I just want for them to absolutely explode. So this is just a really cool opportunity for us.
so this is more just about being a fan tour than going out with like another new metal-ish band or something, another
Oh,
hardcore band or
absolutely.
something like that. This is like, hey, you know what? I love these guys. We got the opportunity. Let's do it, kind of thing.
100%. I think we go back and forth on we want to do stuff that sounds like us, and we want to, for there to be like a comfortable bill, but at the same time we love a good mixed bill show, because I think if you have too many bands that all sound the same, people kind of get a little bit of fatigue halfway through the show. You're like, yep, I
Sure.
got it. Or you can hear where everyone is. If there's like common influence, then it's like everything starts sounding like, whatever that common influence might be. And so I love to keep it fresh. And so we've taken a lot of very cool tours that were, we were the weird band. We stood out, or whatever it is. And so also getting to introduce people to different kinds of sounds that they might not listen to. Like, not that we're a straight up hardcore band, but having a lot more of that hardcore influence and kind of introducing people to, maybe somebody's wearing a t-shirt on stage, and somebody goes home and is like, oh, what was that one thing? It's like a terror or something like that. And it's like, yeah, now go home and check it out on Spotify. And next thing you know, that person's going to shows in their local area. So
Right.
yeah, we love mixed bill shows.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an old school thing where it always had to be, thrash bands with thrash bands or death, whatever
Yeah,
the genre is. I feel like it's really kind of opened up over the last couple of years. It's a lot more mixed, diverse lineups, I guess, which is more like a European thing.
100%.
Last thing for California, man, you've been touring for a while now. Is there any like Cali must-haves when you roll through? Is it like I got to get some tacos,
Ooh,
I got to get some craft beer, something?
absolutely. Yeah, there's a place in San Diego. I can't remember the name of the bar. But when we played Brick by Brick, which is in San Diego, there's a bar that's like 5 or 6 blocks away, and they have this food truck with some of the best tacos we've ever had in our lives. And we just like every single time we go through, we're like, we have to make sure that we have time. Like we have to go there. And then obviously, I mean, it sounds cliche, but like going to In and Out after the show is kind of
Yeah.
it's a staple. It's a tradition. It's always open late, and we have In and Out out here in Colorado, but it doesn't taste quite the same. There's something special about eating In and
Huh.
Out at 1 o'clock in the morning, like out on the beach. Like it's just crazy.
Dude, so you'll appreciate this. I did something I don't think anyone else has ever done in history. I stumped In and Out because you can customize the menu and everything.
Oh yeah.
I did one, it was I think 2 weeks ago. Did my special order, no onions, and, ketchup and mustard, bad pickles, all that. And then I said, and I'd like two bottom buns because the bottom bun's a little bit thinner than the top bun.
Okay.
And so the guy was like, huh, no one's ever asked me that before. And he like got on the, headset and was going back and forth. And at one point it was yes. And then he came back again and said, I'm sorry, we can't do it because we can't sell two top buns.
Yeah.
But I was like, I got him. There's something that they can't do,
Ooh.
which I thought they would. I mean, they pretty much do whatever you want most of the time. But he said no one ever had asked him for that before. But
Also, like how much does it cost for you're getting burger buns at I'm sure
I know, right?
200 for like 10 cents.
Right.
So yeah, you can that guy's just being a pain. You can get two bottom buns. I'm sure if you asked again, they would probably say yes.
I should do that. Go through a different one at a different time and see if I get a different answer.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on how busy it is, if they're bored back there, it's like they'll do whatever.
Dude, I appreciate all the time. Last thing I got for you, man. We're an old school radio station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica every night at 10 p.m., which you're going to be a part of. I'm
Love
sure
it.
you grew up learning all the Metallica riffs and everything, fan.
Absolutely.
So help me out with this little debate I got going on with my buddy and I. We're kind of coming down on opposing sides, and I'm asking everyone I talk to their best thrash metal album, Ride the Lightning versus Master of Puppets. If you had to pick one out of those two, which one would it be?
Um, I'm a huge dork, and my band always gives me flack for it because I love every band's like first record or their EP or the
Sure.
demo. I think that's when it's the most kind of like unfiltered and the most raw. So I'm gonna go Ride the Lightning. I think Master of Puppets is a masterpiece. I think it's phenomenal, but I think there's just something about like a little bit less mature, a little bit more crazy. It's not as refined. So I'm gonna go with the older stuff. I'm gonna say Ride the Lightning.
Little dirtier, guys sweating it out in a garage. You could kind of feel that on the record.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to hear.
So I was hoping, see, we're off to such a good start, man. I thought we were getting.
Oh, did I let you down? I changed my mind.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, that's the whole thing of it. I mean, they're both great records, and
Oh yeah,
I
you
mean,
can't go wrong.
no, I just think Masters sounded a lot better sonically.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, again, I think the songwriting is cleaner. I think the performances are better. I think, yeah, and so many of the hits that you think of are the Master of Puppet songs. But yeah, as far as thrash, if you're asking what's a better thrash metal record, it's got to be Ride the Lightning.
Love it, man. Just to put a button on it, pick a song for us to play for you on Mandatory Metallica. It could be any song. Doesn't have to be from one of those albums. Any one of them.
Um, Honestly, I couldn't even tell you. You put me on the spot here. I'm gonna say dealer's choice. I'm gonna let you go for it.
Well, since you picked Ride the Lightning, why don't we go with Ride the Lightning?
Easy. Love it.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much for the time. Blast getting to talk to you, and hopefully I'll get to say hi to you out there at the House of Blues show.
Dude, absolutely. Send us a message. Maybe we'll snag some tacos or something like that. We'll hang out soon.
Hell yeah, that'd be fun, man. Safe travels until then, man. Thanks.
Appreciate you, brother. Have a good
Bye
night.
bye.